Hello, this is Christina Holton, and I'm going to present to you Building 1 at Lane Community College, also known as Student Services. The following different units are all located within Building 1: Enrollment and Student Financial Services, Financial Aid, Testing Office, Counseling and Advising, Student Outreach and Recruitment, Multicultural Center, Women's Program, Student Life and Leadership Development, TRIO Learning Center, and the Center for Accessible Resources. Building 1 is a newer building on campus, and it became fully operational in the summer of 2001. Its modern architecture and design create a unique and welcoming space that not only serves students in many different capacities, but also supports Lane's mission of transforming lives through learning. It seems that Lane put a tremendous amount of thought and consideration into the physical design of Building 1. There are many aspects of the physical environment that were designed and implemented with great intention to achieve their desired goals. Building 1 has a very prominent staircase and ramp that lead to the main entrance. Although there are other doors that will allow access into the building, students without prior experience on campus would not be able to find them nearly as easily. Also, this main entrance is conveniently located just south of the main bus station on campus, and in close proximity to some of the parking lots. This location makes it easy to find and stands as a pronounced structure on campus. There are several large windows that allow for a great amount of natural light into the main space of the building. The ceilings in the building are tall and non-linear. This is an example of architectural probabilism, as Building 1 presents as an attractive, warm, and welcoming entrance, and thus increases the probability that students will enter. This aspect has both benefits and detriments, though. The benefit is the curved ceilings allows for a more unique, modern feel to the building. However, the tall ceilings allow for noise to carry and echo. Even a cough, sneeze, or unhushed cell phone can be heard by almost anyone in the main part of the building. For some, this may be a distraction and deter them from the overall appeal of the building. Once inside, students are clearly led to the check-in station. This station, along with a few other areas in Building 1, is staffed by a student ambassador. This program is designed to create greater connection between new and existing students and to help new students see themselves as college students, since all student service ambassadors are student workers. Currently, this station is not easily accessible for students who may have ADA needs. While putting together this presentation, I learned that this station is currently in the process of being redesigned to better meet these needs. Also, just inside the main entrance is this information window. It seems logically located where students would go to get general information and questions answered. Unfortunately, it does not feel very welcoming to students. Many students, especially those new to campus, are nervous to seek out assistance and ask questions for fear of how they will be perceived, and this design does not help to alleviate those feelings. It would be great if there were a more personal way of being able to arrange this aspect of the physical environment. One more feature near the main entrance is this awkward map of the building denoting the location of all of the different departments and centers. Two things about this map struck me as particularly unusual. First, it is hand-drawn, which does not fit the professional theme of the rest of the building. Second, it displays the second floor at the top of the map and the first floor at the bottom of the map. The natural flow of reading the map would be from top to bottom. However, the most important information that someone new to campus would need is located at the bottom of the map. I was also assured in my inquiries that a new map with a greater professional appearance that prioritizes the displayed information is coming soon. The feel of the first floor of Building 1 is very businesslike. It seems clear that the authority is held within enrollment and financial aid, and this impression comes about in two ways. The first is that the signage for these areas of Building 1 is much more noticeable than any other area, and that implies importance to the observer. Second, the service windows for enrollment and financial aid actually extend outward to the middle of the communal area of the first floor, and no other department or center does so. Although it can be difficult to promote the importance of one unit over any other, there may be some sense behind this. Namely, if students do not successfully complete the enrollment and financial aspects of Lane, then they are not yet students and wouldn't have the ability to access all of the other units. From enrollment and financial aid, students move on to the testing center, where they complete their required placement testing for reading, writing, and math. Once completed, they move on to the Counseling and Advising Center. This is the main location for counseling and advising services on campus. However, other advisors who specialize in particular programs are located in other buildings. The one other unit on the first floor is the Student Outreach and Recruitment. Notice that their sign reads in both English and Spanish. One area where Lane could improve its messaging to students is with the consistency of their signage for the different units on campus. Although it may not be important to have a single uniform guideline for all signs, some are much more noticeable than others. It would be great to see other units consider an inclusion similar to this one. The flags hung from the ceiling of Building 1 are welcoming of students and assist in encouraging diversity. They tell a story of inclusiveness, and it is another way where students can see themselves within the college. One concern that was brought to my attention, however, is that some flags, especially those located near the windows, have not been well cared for. Additionally, with such displays, it is important to take care in placing the flags in such ways that not to offend individuals from any particular country. Lane does an outstanding job of visual messaging to students, staff, and the community that accurately display and promote their image. In addition to this "Student Success Starts Here" printed on the outside of the building, this sign is prominently displayed inside. It is hard to deny the dream-achieving opportunities that are presented in such a setting. Also, since 2014 marked the 50th anniversary of Lane's opening, there are many signs displaying this message of honor. These messages elicit feelings of hope, determination, and encouragement for all students from the past, present, and into the future. Now let's journey up to the second floor of Building 1, that is home to most of the student centers. The second floor does not have a sense of prescribed journey. Rather, since so many student centers and resources are housed together, the feeling is that students who come to visit one center could easily pop in and be welcomed into any of the other centers as well. Often there are large groups of students congregating in the hallways and in the centers themselves and outside the snack shack. This helps to foster a sense of connectedness for students. Let's take a look. Here is the snack shack, and here is the Student Resources Center, where student life and leadership development is located. Here is the home of the women's program, and directly across the hall is the Multicultural Center. Finally, you can't really see it in this picture, but the TRIO Learning Center and the Center for Accessible Resources are located over here. Here is just a quick look at a few of these centers, with the women's program being on the right, the Multicultural Center in the top left, and the Student Resources Center in the bottom left. The Snack Shack is a spot where many students and staff congregate. It is centrally located between the centers and carries a wide selection of items at very reasonable prices. All of the seating accommodations that are available for students while they wait for services in Building 1 are cushioned. Now, this may not seem like a big deal, but it can assist students in feeling more comfortable and help to reduce their anxieties as they wait for assistance. Despite showing some age, all of the furnishings in Building 1 have been well maintained, assists in conveying to students that Lane takes pride in its campus and its students. Here are just a few ways in which Lane messages the importance of diversity. A few more observations I made while completing this project. There seems to always be students throughout Building 1, although you'll note that I was careful not to include many of them in my photos, and those that I did include did give me permission. And this makes sense considering the fact that it's the Student Services building. Whether they are congregating outside the snack shack, meeting with an advisor, or studying in the lounge area, it is clear to an outsider that this is a place where students feel like they belong and feel comfortable and safe. No matter where their interests lay, they can find a connection in Building 1. When considering Holland's 6 interest types, for example, a student who is, say, social enterprising and looking for ways to connect outwardly with the college may find themselves taking part in the student leadership opportunities or as a student service ambassador, and they can provide assistance to new students. The advantage to having so many of the student services units located together in Building 1 is that although each unit may tend to operate in its own functional silo, the proximity of the units allows for greater opportunities for collaboration, which can lead to a more holistic philosophy of meeting the needs of students. Greater cohesion between these units may eventually lead to increased opportunities for connections with academic units as well, and continue to lead student services on a path of transitioning from service units to learning units. Ultimately, this will continue to serve Lane's mission and assist students towards achieving the core learning outcomes. I hope you've enjoyed this pictorial tour of Building 1 at Lane Community College. I look forward to your feedback and your questions. And if you ever make it to Eugene, I encourage you to drop by and see it for yourself. Everyone is welcome at Lane.